How's everyone doing today? Let's go. Let's go. How's the mic sounded today before I continue? Am I too loud, too quiet? How are we feeling today? Hope everyone's having a good day, good week. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Got to see some family. Got a lot of stuff to go over. We got a lot of good things happening. Fucking including Dougie Fresh getting his team maybe taken. Like we got a lot of good stuff going, boys and girls. Let's start to feel good for a little bit here. For once, you're gonna have me in a happy stream. Let's go. We got a lot of stuff going. Like I said, I'm gonna wait a second. Let some people jump in. We're gonna go over AMC here. A lot of good things looking for AMC in this future here. Like I said, this is like that perfect moment where everything's starting to come right where we needed it to go. Profits are going to be coming in all the rest of the year. Next year is going to be ridiculous, dude. Next year is going to be ridiculous. All right, we got 100 people. I'm good enough. Let's go. So let's start off with AMC. I'm sure you've all heard we had a amazing weekend here. We had AMC's biggest Memorial Day weekend revenue-wise ever. Let's fucking go. Let's go. This is what I'm saying, guys. Fundamentals. This is why I have preached fundamentals for 2.5 years, 3 years, and everyone just called me a shill. No. Fundamentals, dude. Look at GameStop. That's what everyone talks about. Oh man, GameStop's it's being held down. They're fundamentally in their debt. Yeah, but they're not a profitable company. If AMC was debt free, they would have been a profitable company all these last couple of years. That's the difference. What's going on right now is you have these shorts. AMC had a huge weekend. You had all these people shorting down low, right at these $3 range and lower, and guess what? They were betting on them hoping that they had a bad Q1, hopefully a bad Q2, burn some revenue, then they could maybe watch it drop lower, make a little profit. But shorting it at this $3 range just makes no sense. So I feel like some of these guys saw us have a huge weekend, started some covering, and one thing you have learned. I'm not saying that like people go, oh my god, there's cut. No, it's like a small percent of covering. And when I talk about covering, you guys, I'm talking about them getting retail shorts covering. And those are the ones that are actually helping raise, not the shorts we're worrying about. So AMC from this point on, like I said, June looks amazing for this quarter. I found this site that I've been looking at some things here, so let's get into this quick. Just so you guys know, we had 7 million moviegoers attend an AMC location. That's a lot of people. We set a record for food and beverage, all-time revenue, ticket revenue, attendance records. Feeling great. Lilo and Stitch. This movie is gonna, dude, it's just gonna kill it, man. Adam Aaron better have gotten as much merchandise as possible for this stuff, dude. As much merchandise as possible. Every single thing he buys of this will sell out. Anything he had of this movie, I was showing people the other day. What? Hold on. It was like, dude, they showed the amount of streams or whatever, or tickets. Hold on, where was it? Hold on. It was an insane number. Hold on, let's check it out here real quick. Lilo and Stitch. And here's another one coming out. You guys, don't sleep on How to Train Your Dragon. This movie is going to kill it. I'm thinking like, this is at least 250 to 300 domestic. We're feeling good on this one. This is another banger that's coming out. We're going to get into all these bangers coming out here real quick. Hold on. I was just looking. If I can't find it real quick, we'll move on. But Lilo and Stitch. Oh, yeah, dude. Like I said, 2026, dude. Just wait till we get to 2020. Like I said, this year's going to be sick. Here it is. Hold on. Here you go. Right there. That's what I was looking for. Listen to this. This is insanity. Disney made over 2.6 billion just from Lilo and Stitch merchandise sales in 2024. That's insane. Let me say that one more time. Lilo and Stitch. Wait, where'd you guys go? There we go. Sorry, I gotta move back over here. Lilo and Stitch merchandise sales made 2.6 billion last year. This movie is gonna fucking kill it the rest of the year. Like I said, the smartest thing Adam Aaron can do right now is just keep on getting as much merchandise as possible. 2.6 billion. I knew this movie was going to destroy it, dude. It's not even started. This will be your next $1 billion movie. We got another one coming out here from Pixar. Pixar's last one, Inside Out 2. Obviously, we all saw the success of Inside Out 2 last year. That one's coming out here real shortly too. But like I said, this is definitely a sweet thing to pay attention to. I think at the trajectory that we're going at, I got us at 2.824 billion. If we get one or two overperforming movies, we could potentially hit 2.9. Like I said, guys, go see a movie. If you've had AMC, here's how we got to look at it. Think logically. All right, if I'm buying these stocks, if you can buy stocks, keep buying stock. Average down. Be smart about it. Like we had a talk with a couple people today. Some guys like, dude, I still have $50 average a share, and I'm like, how? That means you bought at all times high. So basically, see, that's what I hate about oh my God, investors are down 90%. No, they're not. The people that bought at all-time highs are. Most people got in before it went to all-time highs. And then most people averaged down. And then most people bought ape and did the conversion. And then most people did you got wheel strategies, covered calls to collect premium. There's ways to collect all sorts of options on the way up, on the way down. If anybody's still at $50, that means you stop trying or stop buying. Or you couldn't afford to, and you bought it a really high number anyways. But we'll get there, man. We'll get you back. Don't worry. We'll get you back. We will get you back. This is when AMC is at a pivot point right now. We're pivoting hard. We're finally past this trash where we're burning fucking money. We got to raise capital. We got to sell stock just to raise capital to get through the cash burn. Now, I'm warning you guys, and I'm telling you guys, and I'm telling you this is a good thing, and it's an insanely good thing. You didn't listen to me the first time because it was going to kill your squeeze, and what happened? You said no at $28 when we could have paid off another $1.2 billion in debt and had how much more hundreds of millions currently. I'm telling you, stock value, right now, AMC stock value was bad because our reserves are low. Because we also don't have the ability to raise capital. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card type thing. It's an emergency. If you don't have that emergency and you have one or two bad quarters, that's when they're going to destroy you. I'm telling you. Saying no when Adam Aaron at the end of Q2, which he will do because it's common fucking sense. I can't... Dude, I can't stand some of these people on the internet. It's not a POI. It's none of this bullshit. You can't put a POI on Memorial Day weekend when you absolutely know this is going to be the best weekend of the entire fucking year type situation. Get out of here, dude. Some of these clowns right now, AA works with BlackRock if the price goes down. AA works with BlackRock if the price goes up. I bet Adam Aaron's going to tweet after every single movie theater that Adam Aaron tweeted on POIs, you know who the fuck you are. Did Cinemark? Oh, wait, there they are, talking about their record-breaking thing, and it had nothing to do with your POI trash, dude. It was obvious. It was obvious AMC was going to move up today. It was every single cinema went up today. They all did. They all crushed it. Everyone, this was projected for months to be one of the biggest weekends ever, and you don't think the stock was going to raise? Every single theater chain. Look at them all. Here they all are. They're all out here. They're all doing it. They all said the same thing. Man, we killed it this weekend. Adam Aaron comes out. Man, we killed it this weekend. See, he works for the hedge funds. See, he's trying to get shares. I'm sure he is going to try to get shares at the end of the quarter when we kill it. And he can finally say to people, you guys, this time it's different when we get shares. This time we're not going to have cash burn. We're not going to have we're not going to have unsustainable cash burn the rest of this year. He was talking about net cash flow all the rest of this year. And in 2026, we're going to kill it. You guys got to listen to this. This is huge. You have to listen to this and understand this point. We might break 10 billion this year, maybe. Like if some more some more Miracle movies come out, and you have like another Inside Out 2, and it blows up, we might break 10 billion type thing. Like, you're not going to break 10 billion. They are projecting in 2026 12 billion. That is 2.2 billion more throughout the year. That means you're looking at 3 billion quarters. Average every quarter plus. AMC's looking at very healthy profits. I'm talking, I mean, I don't want to put numbers on it because, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do from her. I mean, he could do a lot of things, but I'm talking, easily in the 75 million plus range if you're getting at those numbers. Plus, and I'm like lowballing the shit out of it. If you're popping in 3 billion in ticket sales at box office, trust me, you're having one of the most profitable experiences you'll ever have in a company. You're going to be jacked. And what he's going to do is he's not going to, if we give him shares, what that's going to do, it's not going to hurt the value of the company just because he gets the shares. What will happen? Just listen, because you've lived through it. You've seen this happen. You'll give him shares. He's not going to drop them. He's not going to drop them this time. There was a difference between this before and after. Before, he had to get the shares, and I told you guys that he had to raise capital. Without all these capital raises before, you have no AMC. Period. He's shown you the stats. We've shown you the numbers. I've shown you the financial things. You would have filed Chapter 11. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what would have happened. Period. Would it have been sweet if he sold Ape right away? Yes. We can get into all this and that. But he had no choice before. But he had to raise capital. Now he has a choice. It's not like, hey, I need to get this and I got to dilute now. No, what he's going to do is exactly what I said. At the end of Q3, you're going to have about a $7 stock. By the end of Q4, like I said, I'm feeling pretty fucking good about it. Fundamentally, and that's the difference. When you start talking about fundamentals, you start changing the things, you could start looking at it like that. And when I say a $7 stock, I mean fundamentally, you're starting to look at like a $7 stock. And when I say that, because now I'm trying to think, everyone's going to cry about it. I say that a manipulated fundamental $7 stock. Okay? I believe AMC's core value, if there's no manipulation in all of this bullshit right now, there's no reason it's not running at Cinemarks. We have like 600 million more debt than them. Yes, we have more locations. We got to get our cash burn a little bit more under control, but that was just missing box office numbers, which is now going to be under control the rest of the year. And then 2026, see, one of the things I wanted to show you guys, look at this. Adam Aaron's talking about the rest of 2025, cash flow positive. Perfect. If you're cash flow positive, again, you don't need to dilute. When these shorts start covering, I believe AMC's price could go into fucking ridiculous numbers. But fundamentally, no manipulation. The start of 2026, there's no fucking reason, dude. Even with manipulation, there's no reason, dude, if they can hold it down. This is all like me saying if the horse goes the same exact route. I don't believe they're going to get there. When we start looking at this stuff here, you guys, we're going to look into these numbers. I'm going to show you these fucking numbers. It's like the point of stupidity. There is no way they can hide. Like I said, this is like ridiculous. Because every year you think they're going to be able, I'm like, dude, they're going to have to cover this or that because of this and that, and then they find something new. Then they destroy this, and they destroy that. Then they go for this, and they go for that. And they always find something to go. But here's the problem. We're going to get into this with the rest of the world. The rest of the world, where is it? How do I have this many tabs and then I lose the two I'm looking for? Hold on. No. Here's one of them. Here's two of them. All right, here it is. It's just not loading. I don't know what the problem is. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds here. Just load it on a different. There we go. All right. Got Bangladesh. You got Europe. There's another Russian thing that I'm going to show you guys. North Korea, South Korea. We've already shown you guys what they're starting to do. Other countries are starting to wake up. The entire world's like, dude, the United States, it's kind of funny because in the end of the day, you start to realize we're really the bad guys. We are so powerful and so strong, and we are destroying other countries' currencies at the snap of our will so they do what they want. We'll get into all this in a second, but yeah, my tabs are nuts, dude. But yeah, let's get into Dougie Fresh quick. Before we get into anything, let me talk Dougie Fresh. And then we'll come back. We gotta talk Dougie Fresh, man. Let's go. I hate this fucking douchebag. First, listen. First, we're gonna take his fucking hockey team, and then we're gonna take his company and all the fucking money this loser owes us. Let's go. So, great news, everybody. If you haven't heard about Dougie Seafood Fresh, the right before this loser, oh my god, he got suspended like the next day, dude. Me and him were just talking shit, and I can't remember what he called me out for, and then I said something back, and then he tried to talk about my hairline, and I'm like, bro, and I sent him his hairline. That was the last we talked. But the next day, Dougie Fresh got into it hard, and some people sent some stuff to the NHL. If you guys sit here, the NHL suspends Dougie Fresh over social media posts. And that's just the start, guys. So a whole bunch of people have been collecting all the things that Dougie Fresh has been saying. And one of the things that we thought we could do, because if you come down here and read this, Dougie Fresh here he's going to have a little meeting here with Doug Seafood to see what to do. He might take his team away. Now, we decided we should help out the NHL. We got to help the NHL out, and a whole bunch of us have sent out every single thing that Dougie Fresh has sent to us to the NHL to help make their case so they know just how good of a person Dougie Fresh is. So, hopefully by the end, it says also that after all this comes out, of course, listen to Dougie. Here's our little Dougie boy. So he calls people basement dwellers, pieces of shit all day, retail trash, mom's all the Gasparinos, all the good stuff. So after he gets called out, after he gets his team suspended, he might get it taken away. Here he comes. He goes, "My behavior does not reflect the standards of the Florida Panthers organization and the Viola family." You remember remember this? You remember his boyfriend? Hold on. Remember this guy? So this guy, this is Doug. Doug is his bottom. In life, he's his bottom in the bedroom. He's his bottom in his company. In every possible way. Speaking of hairline, look at this. This guy tried to make fun of my hairline. I want you guys to understand something. This guy tried to make fun of my hairline. This guy. This dude. Okay, back to this. So, this guy, Vincent, used his company to steal $400 million from ironworkers' pension funds. When they told Doug what was happening, when they told Doug he was stealing from his company and using virtue to commit crimes, do you know what Dougie Fresh did? He called up his boyfriend Vincent, and then Vincent told him what was going on, and then he helped Vincent cover it up. And then he told the ironworkers, nope, bring us to court, and now guess what? They're in court, and he's going to lose. This is another thing that I sent to the NHL. Vincent Viola is a fucking criminal. Doug Sifu is a fucking criminal. The fact they have a sports team is a slap in everyone in America's face. This dude belongs in prison, and this dude belongs right next to him. They can go be boyfriends in their own jail cell and do whatever they got to do. They belong in prison. They don't belong with this team. We're going to take Doug's fucking company next. Like I said, guys, expose the criminality. Everyone you know. It's very easy. There's a couple things you need to know. When you talk about these guys' crimes, all you need to say, if you want to have a conversation with your mom, your dad, anybody that does not believe you, I'm going to give you 10 talking points, a 2-minute conversation, and you can explain everything that is happening. This is all you need to say to them. When you buy a stock, because you go, what do you think happens? And they're going to say, well, I buy it, and then my broker buys the stock for me, and then blah, blah, blah. And you're going to say, nope, that's not what happens. What happens is you buy a stock, and a person called a market maker now intercepts that because the broker that you bought it from is getting paid a fee from them called payment for order flow. So now what happens is that guy is able to buy my order instead of the broker taking it from me. This guy can now fill my order at later dates, but what he has the ability to do is short and manipulate the market, and with what is called Rule 203, market maker exemption, he is allowed to manipulate the stock price because what he is able to do is do market maker exemptions, which are shares that create a larger float, and by being able to control the float and make a larger float and sell more shares out there than are available, they are able to control the stock price. On top of that, there's a thing called shorting. They're able to also short. So if retail ever does get enough orders through the lit market, they can make sure that the short volume will cancel out at any day that they want. On top of that, they have derivatives, which are things that me and you don't see. They are agreements and they are contracts for shares that also can affect the market. In other words, they have a playing field that me and you will never have. And when they lose, do you remember the bank bailout in 2008? They lost. They lost in the stock market. They lost in the housing market. Do you remember COVID? Well, right before COVID came out, what they were going to announce was a $1.5 trillion deficit at the Pentagon. Crazy coincidence, that exact day that the press conference was scheduled. I'm not, like I said, you don't have to get into that because I know a lot of people suddenly go into the COVID argument. But like I said, show them that they have the ability to manipulate, short and distort. And then what you need to say is this, these retail stores that you guys like? They also have the ability now to do convertible bonds. So what these guys do is they call their banker friends, and then they say, I want to attack this company. What they're going to do is they're going to start to short that company so the company no longer has the ability to raise cash. Because they have this ability, this has killed America. Because they have this ability, this took away competition in the market, in tech fields, in everything. Because if I want your product, I'm not going to buy it from you. You're not going to go out there. I'm just going to short and distort it. I'm going to fucking take it from you. Why would I buy my competition when me and my buddies can short and distort it, and I can take your company, I can take your patents, and in the meantime, I can sell off all of your assets once I get on the board, and then I can make all this money on the way down, and the second I get your company into bankruptcy, I no longer pay taxes on it. So my whole thing is this: not only is short and distort get me tax-free earnings, I also get all your patents. Why did America think about this? In America, we were booming. New innovation, new technology, new life-changing event, new life-changing medicine, new life-changing this. And it stopped. When did it stop? Think about it. Right when it stopped, you had the first case of dark money reaching over $500 million. And suddenly, what happened? All these regulations went away. And then what happened? Here we are. These guys get caught. Think about this. I want you guys to understand something and really, truly think about something. When we all came out and we said what was happening, you had millions of people holding these stocks. Millions of people telling the world what's going on. The government comes out and says, those YouTubers y'all like to bash and talk shit about and say they don't know what the fuck they were talking about? Well, they're actually 100% right. All these fucking idiots that go, AMC wasn't a play. Well, according to your own government, it was the bigger play. So is your government wrong too? Nope. They went in, they showed you the numbers, they showed you everything, and what happened? Nothing. They gave him a fine. Robinhood, I just showed you guys 4 months ago. Robinhood just finally hit up their last acceptance waiver and consent, and Robinhood just finally went ahead and said, all right, and they're all caught up. They've paid up all their fines. Everything that happened from that day, they've moved on, and all of these people still use Robinhood. No one cares. Vlad's still out there a billionaire when he should have been. You know what should have happened to the guy. He stole from how many fucking people? All of these guys. I'm not insinuating violence. It just blows my mind that somebody with these guys blatantly doing what they're doing, nothing's happened to them yet. Like I said, I'm not saying go out there and do something. I'm just saying, how haven't, with how many they've crossed, how the fuck haven't those dudes, they're criminals. They're criminals in every way of the world. They are so fucking diabolical. They made their own fucking justice system. They figured out how to stay out of prison. They just make FINRA. It was that simple. Just fucking make FINRA. How do we stay out of prison? We make a thing called blue collar crime and white collar crime. Oh, okay. What else do? We make FINRA. We make the SEC. We make our own police. And by doing this, we take away the real police. Unless the Doge get called in by our regulators. Unless our own police call in the Doge. Speaking of that, I want you to listen to this. Speaking of that, right perfectly into the fucking story. Wait. Speaking of FINRA, here we go. You remember this fucking asshole? Do you remember this piece of shit? This fucking douchebag worked at Citadel. He's gone from like SEC. This dude went from SEC to fucking Citadel to like Goldman Sachs. Now guess where he is? He's over at FINRA. FINRA appoints a new public governor. This dude's supposed to like make sure that everything's good, secure for retail investors. He's right out of fucking Citadel. Listen to this. Prior to the SEC, prior to Citadel Securities, prior to Goldman Sachs, and now he's coming on the new regulator. They just pass executives around. You go from one executive to one regulation to a market maker, back to a regulation, back to a bank, to like whatever else you got to go to. It's ridiculous. They just pass these fucking people around, giving them jobs so they can stay out of our judicial system. And I've showed you guys this. Anyone that calls me a shill is the dumbest motherfucker on this planet. I have shown you everything they do. I've shown you acceptance waivers and consents. I showed you how they took over companies with convertible bonds. Dude, I can go on and on and on. ISDA. I went on about all the derivatives, dude, everything. I mean, unbelievable amount of shit. Showed you guys market maker exemptions. I've shown you guys the CNS program. The amount of things these fucking pieces of shit can come up with is ridiculous. But one thing I've shown you forever. What is always the way to beat them? If we do it, it's over. We can stop this fucking musical game of chairs. We just got to sit the fuck down. Get out of your ISDA banks. Get the fuck out of them. When they go away, everything dies. When you guys all say, fuck it, you move out of your ISDA banks and you move into credit unions, and suddenly credit unions have money, the amount of money these banks got, technically, all of retail's banks. Well, guess what? That means these other banks that all these criminals are in, they don't have anybody to steal from. None of us have over 250,000. We're not going to do bank runs, but they can. And now you're going to have all these fucking rich people nervous, and guess what they're going to do? Jump into money market funds. Money market funds. And that's the other thing. I mean, I've been sitting here forever. Guys, get gold. Get fucking gold. Guys, get into money market funds. Money market funds. Where is it? Money market funds just broke a new record of like $7.8 trillion. and it's spiking. Like I told you guys, get it. If you're in a bank, you're losing money every day. Every day. Inflation's you're losing the 15 cents you make a year is not keeping up with inflation. You're getting under 1%. Why the fuck don't you just go get these bonds? Gold, assets, leave just enough in there. Just enough in there to pay your bills each month. And then you have your assets if you need to sell something off. But guess what? The asset values are going to go up exponentially compared to your fucking 0.0001% that criminal can now take, rehypothecate. Oh man, Pickens, I only have $1,000 in there. Good, get it the fuck out. You know what he can do with that $1,000? He can rehypothecate. What did I show you guys with rehypothecation? Watch. Oh. Hold on, I think I just learned something. Wait, no. That's in the fucking United States. They go over the euro. So you can 100%. You can in Europe, and that's where I keep showing you guys. You can in Europe is the problem. You can 100%, so up to 100 times. They'll turn your 1,000 into 10,000 worth of betting. They'll take your $1,000, put it in some type of trust that will put it into a credit that will be able to give them access to a derivative that they'll get in Europe. They'll rehypothecate it through a rehypothecation center. It will go from 1,000 to 10,000 worth of fucking value that they'll bring back, bet, and take out, and then they'll make how much on it? Europe. This is the problem. Like all these. Here's my problem, and here's where I was wrong with Phase 6. When I said Phase 6, I thought the entire world would hold us responsible. Because why? We're fucking destroying their countries and their currencies. You know, logically, you would think, hey, well, fuck off. But instead, they're all so intertwined with us. They've let us dump so much of their criminality over there. Perfect case, Credit Suisse. Okay? Credit Suisse closed down. Their GameStop and AMC shorts were so unbelievable. Because why? All of these people that got caught with AMC, where'd the FTDs go, Bigums? Where'd all this shit go? It went over to fucking Europe. It went to Credit Suisse. They absorbed it. And then they fucking hid the files away for 50 years. And then they got absorbed by UBS. And then this happened to UBS. UBS is paying fines out of the ass. UBS is in financial trouble. UBS just lost the court case because they can't afford it. They can't afford it. Hold on, where is... God, I post so much stuff in a day. Wait, hold on. No? No? Hold on, I know she posted it right away. I know she posted it right away, me and her. If you guys don't follow Kristen, dude, if there's ever a news reporter, if there is ever a news reporter in the world to follow, it's her. I'm telling you. She is the only one I've ever fucking met in my life that all she does is talk about the corruption in the world. That's it. It's all she talks about every day. Look at this crime they're committing. Look at this. Look what the regulators are doing. That's all she talks about. It's all she talks about. Like one of the only ones ever out there that tells the truth. It's unbelievable that you have to sit there and find 1 out of 4 million stock markets. Hold on, where is it? UBS. Fucking hell, I'll just... Dude, I knew it was going to do this. Hold on. My computer's about to do stupid crap again. She also... Who took a jab? Hold on, let me check this out. Who are we talking about? Who's taking jabs? What's stopping is the banks from buying credit unions? I'm pretty sure they can only have a certain amount of percentage of banks, and almost all those. I'm almost sure, almost positive all those banks. Yeah, they can only have that percentage. What's stopping them buying all these credit unions up is they can only have a certain percent of concentration. So they're already maxing out. That's what they were just doing with those mergers. Remember those those mergers deals that were happening last year, and all these people that were going crazy about J.P. Morgan trying to absorb all those people because they were already at their concentration limit. They're all those big banks absorbed. They're all. I just checked. They're all at their limit. So they can't technically go out and buy up all these credit unions. Sorry. You gotta sue his barber. I gotta check chat a little more. No, I love hearing y'all talk shit about Dougie too. If you got any more Doug Seafood comments, make sure you throw them in the chat. I love making fun of that douche. Now, back to this. So, back to AMC for a second here. So again, guys, we're at that point now. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a mass. I'm thinking about a 2.824 billion AMC box office this quarter, or not AMC, but total domestic box office. You're gonna make profit. You're gonna make a good profit this quarter. The rest of this year, free cash flow positive. 2026, as he said, they're looking at 12 billion. You're looking at an average 3 billion a quarter. One of the things I wanted to show you guys, because a lot of people, think Adam Aron's not doing nothing, but this is something that is a lot of people don't talk about, and this is an amazing thing. To try to improve its margins, AMC has been closing theaters. Everybody wants to praise Ryan because he closed enough theaters to almost get cash flow positive in his core business, but they are cash flow positive because, again, they have their investments, they have their money. So everything he's putting in money market funds. And then if he went out and bought Bitcoin, if Ryan bought Bitcoin, dude, I mean, I'm loving my spot price right now. I love my GME price right now. I love my average cost. I'm feeling really fucking good on my GameStop shares. Dude, if he bought... What the fuck? Is that a tick on me, dude? Hold on, I got a tick on me from walking Murphy in the woods. I gotta pull this fucker off. Hold on, give me 1 second. God, I hate those things, dude. Ticks are nasty, man. Thing had his head burrowed in my arm, bro. But back to this. So Adam Aron, he ended up closing down 169 theaters over the last couple years. At the same time, it added 60 theaters. These are in better conditions, better locations. We've shown you most of those ones. Those are the ones that are in. They're getting the new screens. Those 60 locations added to the EBITDA 100 million more than the 169 that it closed. That is what you need to keep doing. That's why I've been preaching forever. You guys, let him just keep closing down underperforming theaters. He's renegotiating a lot of the leases, and that's nice. That is super nice. But a lot of these too, it's like, dude, if the contract's up, man, I feel like he needs to learn. It's not always more is always better. Like, get rid of a lot more of these, and your cash burn will start to drop too. Expenses, but like I said, nothing but great news going forward. He's talking about getting some more concert movies going in. Right here, he's talking about getting more concert movies. He's talking about the same thing I talked about. Production studios, you guys. Production studios were on strike. They have shareholders, guys. They have shareholders. They need to walk up and say, "Hey, why did we lose $2 billion last year? When all you had to do is give these guys like 15, 20, $100 million. How do you justify losing that $2 billion over a $100 million dispute? We can't. Okay, well, you're going to need to make all that money up. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, we're going to have the best box offices we've ever had before. And we're going to keep coming out with more and more and more and more. We're going to make up all those losses, and then we're going to have record-breaking profits going forward, because that's what they have to do now. What does that mean for AMC? I've said forever, we're lacking movies. You have a movie theater company. The short thesis is dying by the second. It wasn't before. It is now. You got over the hump. You got over the hill. Just like Adam Aaron's saying, we can finally start moving forward, looking forward. It's not just going to be recover. You can start to actually profit, start to pay down debt on your own. Raise capital when it's smart to raise capital, pay it down better, and guess what? Like I've said to you guys before, if Adam Aaron gets that money, pays down debt, the theaters start recovering. He pays down debt. He shores reserves. If you use it in the company fundamentally, when your product recovers, guess what? It will come back. All the shares you diluted, the value will come back because you'll be making that much more money. Financially, you'll be in that much better of a position. That means your bottom. Everyone's talking about AMC's bottom. It went all the way down to 228 or 288. But guess what? If AMC's fundamentals were completely changed, that would have never happened. Again, at any point throughout this year, AMC, these guys could cover. They could get at any point where I could see AMC, GME exploding. But I'm just saying, fundamentally, they're going to try and keep it down at least this year. But I can't see how it's not at least double digits at some point during this year, towards the end of the year, and into 2026. Fundamentally, even with manipulation, I don't see how it's not higher. Way fucking higher in 2026, like unbelievably higher. You're talking about, like I said, the way you're going to be profiting, and especially if he can pay down some more debt and some things before 2026, you're feeling good, dude. Like I said, AMC, we're feeling great. I'm feeling great. I think we're going to hit at least, like I said, about 2.8. We should have the best quarter we've had. And it's just going to keep getting brighter. And here's the other thing. Here's what you want to see. Before 2026, before you know you're going to have a $12 billion box office, we're signing deals left and right. More sponsorships, more partnerships. IMAX with lasers is adding an additional 80 new screens. Guess where they're going? AMC has a lot of them. So AMC, IMAX, they're adding more. That's more revenue. That's higher ticket costs. And again, when they showed Sinners in the IMAX, the Sinners things in those new 4Ds, they all sold out. People don't think that these IMAXs, these massive screens, you're there for it's a different viewing experience. People buy those, especially for those insane type of movies, action movies. The other thing that I saw today, I want you guys to hear about AMC. Where is it? Here you go. Adam Aaron is also going to start using the venues. He's exploring using venues to sports host games. So in those new 4D, as we saw in those other theaters, those new 4D theaters, what they do is they make it to where you feel like you're on the screen, you're on the field, you're on the football field. It sounds like we've been getting, and he's been mentioning college football. It sounds like we're going to be getting a deal. I expect a college football deal type agreement where they're like, hey, we're going to be doing a big partnership with these guys within the next year or sometime this year. I expect to see AMC and the NCAA announce some type of agreement, some type of partnership. He also wants to get baseball. He wants to get hockey. He wants to get other football. He wants to get college sports. Here it talks about particularly college football, and he's been talking about that for a while. He's also talking about, like he says, more films. But this is, like they said, this is really what we've been missing. Like he said, we've just been missing the quality. We've just been missing quality of films. And now they're all coming back. This quarter, the rest of this quarter looks insane still too. Like I said, I mean, I could see us hitting 2.9. I could see one or two of these movies overperforming and we hit 2.9. But it's like, if you look at what's coming up next still, and here's one of these here's a site you guys can look at. I do like looking at this site. If you do want to do like a lot of people will make. I know like Tony DeNaro will do box office. He has this chart that he plugs things in. Well, if you come on this site here, it's Box Office Theory. This actually tracks numbers, tracks forecasts, what they'll update. This talks about domestic numbers. So I do like to look at this website. So if you are in the AMC, and you do you're just kind of curious, like what do you think, they think will numbers will do. Obviously, it can always be more or less, but it's always nice to get a feel on what they're thinking. But like Lilo and Stitch, they think Lilo and Stitch on the high end domestically. They think on the high end domestically, it's going to hit 478 million. They think on the low end, or is it the low end, it'll hit 350 million domestic, and they think that a good projection will be 405 million domestic for Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, man. Some people don't like Tony. Everyone's got their niche, man. I'm not gonna sit here and like today. I got into it with that Nick guy, but I just don't care anymore about fucking YouTubers who people watch. Like, everyone's got their taste. Just like, only thing I hate about Nick is, like I said, dude. I'm not even gonna get into it, dude. I'm not even gonna get into it because I'm gonna rant, and I'm not even gonna rant. Like I said, I'm not gonna say I don't care about these guys and rant about one. Just the people that need to bash AA to sell a fucking pipe dream is just ridiculous, dude. It's just stupidity. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just done dealing with them. But so Lilo and Stitch is supposed to kill it. Mission Impossible, they still see doing 205. That's still another 105 million. So that's still another 305 million domestic they got projected on the average. Like I said, it could be on the high end. It could be even higher than their high end numbers. But that's where I'm starting to get towards this 2.8, 2.9 number. If you also start to look, you got Ballerina coming out. I want to see that. They think it'll do 113 million. I'm making sure me and my wife go see that, dude. I love the John Wick movies. He's in it. I'm kind of curious to see how it ends because they were talking about doing another John Wick, and obviously, if you saw 4 and all, like, I don't want to spoil movies in case people haven't seen it, but I kind of curious to see what they do with that number 5 too. So obviously, Ballerina's going to play into that. I'm definitely going to see that. I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on How to Train Your Dragon, man. They project How to Train Your Dragon to do 230 million, 250 million high end. I see it doing that, man. I see it doing 250 at least domestically. Don't sleep on this movie. It's going to be doing like Wild Robot numbers. That Elo movie. So there's that Pixar movie, and like I said, last time they had a movie come out, it was that Inside Out 2. I'm not saying Elo's going to come out and kill it. I don't know, but it could. You never know. You never know with children in Pixar movies. Especially, here's the thing. When parents, we're all stressed out. We're all stressed out as fuck. Everything costs unbelievable amount. Your kids there, you're working, like, you're stressed out, man. A lot of these parents, dude, they hear a Pixar movie, they don't give a shit what it is. They hear a Pixar movie, they're gonna go bring their kid to it. Get out of the house, get their kid occupied. You got 28 years later. 28 years later, they think it's going to do 120 million more this quarter domestically. As you can see, you got a lot of movies still coming out that are going to just cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. I think I missed one. They like that Karate Kid movie. They like the Karate Kid. They think Karate Kid's going to do 113 million domestically over this course. Oh yeah, Final Destination. They think Final Destination's going to end up hitting 70. Like I said, their numbers are wrong. I think Final Destination is going to hit more around your high end, obviously. But like I said, it's just a nice thing to look at here. Like I said, you got Elo 28 years later. I want to see 28 years later. I know I'm missing another one. They don't have them all on here. I had them right here. What was I missing? Another one. Here, I'll look while I talk. Let's keep talking. But this quarter, like I said, it should definitely be one of our best quarters. Like I said, I'm jacked. Next quarter, like you said, free cash flow positive. I'm going to put this in the chat though. If you do want to, this is that website I just posted, that website. So if you guys are curious to see what the people think about what movies are going to do, there's the site for you to check. I didn't even know they had stuff like this. I guess Brokeback Mountain's coming out. Never know. A couple of these re-releases have done 25, 30, 40 million. I don't know what that will do. Dangerous and I don't Chucky. So they do have some re-releases coming out. And Indiana Jones is coming out re-release. So they do have some re-releases too that'll add it to it. You never know. Though that Star Wars re-release came out and killed it. That Star Wars re-release killed it. It did like 80 million on that weekend at re-release. It was ridiculous. But I know what you're gonna say. Don't compare anything to Star Wars. I know Star Wars is in its own little league. But like I said, for AMC guys, nothing but great news ahead. Nothing but great news ahead. The only thing that they can do, and I told you the second that this shit all turned around for us, they're going to try some bullshit COVID. And guess what? There's a new bullshit COVID coming out. And now, if you read about this new COVID, that's what I had missing. That's what was missing is this new Chinese COVID. This... Where's my tab, dude? I told you guys right when right when shit was about to turn our way, they're gonna drop a COVID type bullshit. Okay, here you go. Hold on. All right, so this new COVID variant just hit the United States apparently, and it's even more. They're already talking about Trump's already talking about giving out vaccines to just the elderly, to this people. So apparently they already got a new vaccine for this variant. It's gonna go through some testings and stuff, but ain't no one gonna fall for their bullshit again, dude. Ain't nobody gonna fall for their bullshit. Even China came out and said, "Oh, it's not as bad. It's more, people get it easier, but it's definitely not even close to as dangerous as the one before." But if they start talking it up, you're gonna have to know that Chinese government is saying it's not as bad or even that bad. So I don't know which government you want to listen to, but watch. Just remember this last time.
Free fries when you get vaccinated. I got vaccinated.
Wait, you can't hear this idiot? Hold on. Hold on, I gotta fix this. I didn't realize you guys couldn't hear this idiot. Hold on. I just switched. Yeah, I've just got a new monitor, so everything's going through my monitor sound. It's stupid. Here you go. All right, listen to this idiot. You remember this, dude?
Free fries when you get vaccinated. I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this? Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast.
You remember this guy? There's a burger element. I'm gonna tell you right now, I never got vaccinated. Neither did my wife, and neither will my son. Fuck that, dude. Burger element, my ass, dude. Brokeback Mountain 2 would slay. Dude, it would, man. See? Bring it out. Bring it out, dude. I'm all for a Brokeback Mountain 2 at this point, dude. Kill it. Kill it. That would be sweet. And that's the thing. Production studios need to make money. It's possible. Start throwing that idea over at, what's it called? I don't even know who made Brokeback Mountain. I'm not going to lie to you. Start throwing it over at whatever production studio made it. Be like, hey, Brokeback 2, man. Ride the wave. Now, so Dougie Fresh is about to lose his team. AMC is about to just be profitable cash flow all year. And then next year, huge profitability. And now, yeah, I love this, dude. I'm sorry, let's just do this one more time. Is there a video on this? Hold on. Is there a video on this? About Doug? If there's a Doug video, we gotta watch it, right? If they talk about him getting suspended, maybe they'll show his tweets. We gotta watch for 10 seconds. Hold on, we gotta let this thing end quick. Brokeback, yeah, dude, Brokeback 2. They could call it the Doug Sifu and Vincent Viola edition. It could show them in prison together. It could show them in prison together, dude. We're having fun today, guys. We're having some fun today. If you're mad about it, I'm sorry. We're just joking around. We're having some fun. We can have some fun sometimes too. We've had how many streams about just criminality, which we're still going to get into, but come on. Let's have some fun. Because how come when the price is going up, they can push it out to the 4th decimal? Well, that's one of the things they can do too. They can push it out to fucking... We've shown how many times that we're like, why is this trading to the 4th decimal? Oh, it's because when you pop it to the 4th decimal, it's not like seller boxing, but it's in the same type of a term. You put it. It's not like they can put it to the side in the sense to where they can't sell it, but it's to the sense where they can say, all right, we need to make these orders neutral. We got to cancel these out and make them neutral. If we bring it to the 4th, this will now be a negative order, which was how we can cancel out this group that we will combine together to make it a neutral or make it a negative order that we push through as a market maker. So that's one thing that people don't understand too a lot of these times. So like when these guys do these candles, here, let me get this. So when these market makers do these candles and they allow some flow and stuff, what they'll do is they're going to gobble up. Oh, wait, you're on the wrong side. They're going to gobble up. Here you go. They're going to guess. So like, why the hell? I hate when they do this, man. Just fill it white. All right. So you're going to... Why isn't my pencil working? What is happening? I don't understand what's happening right now. The site's like... I need a pen. I need the pencil. What is happening? Can I just get this to work, please? Fill this crap white. Thank you. Pen me. See, I can't get off the pen. What the... I want to upgrade to your premium crap, especially when you're acting like this, dude. Okay, I hit the check mark. I hit enter. Apparently my page is unresponding. Okay, apparently Sketch doesn't let me show you today. It's on its own world here. Never mind. So what you have is you have market makers come in. They're gobbling up all of retail's orders. So basically nothing is getting through to the lit exchange unless they have it first. That's what people don't understand. Unless, God, I wish I could sketchpad. Why is this being so stupid, dude? It's hard to, like, if I could visually show you this, it would be insanely easy. Thank you. Oh my God, it worked. Hallelujah. All right. So, you have your retailer, your market maker, you have your lit exchange, and you have your broker. All right. Let's connect these here. So you have your broker, market maker, and right here you have the exchange. All right. So right here you got your retailer. He sends his order here, okay? So this is what's happening. We send our order, and you think it goes over here, but it doesn't. You come over here. What happens is it always goes here, okay? Now what happens is the market maker, like we know, he could sit on this. He has internalizations. He has all these orders, market maker assumptions that he needs to fill. So if he wants to manipulate the price, let's say you have AMC here, okay? So as an example, you got AMC. Let's say we're rocking at $4 right now, okay? And this market maker's like, all right, I want to keep it in between $4 and I want to keep it in between like $4 and $4.05. Now what I believe happens on these days where you get these nice little runs and stuff is you have retail when they're buying these shorts and they're covering their short positions, they're getting sent to the exchange. Or no, they're going to get sent to the fucking guy, or not the exchange. They're sending that to the market maker who's going to sell them the fucking short to the broker, whatever ones they're going to go through. Now, that guy, when they cover, I believe that's when they start to dump those shares, because at that price, that's when they can start to make their profits. Because obviously, if this guy is now paying it back on that short, had to cover his short, he's down and they're already profitable. Okay? So what that does is it gives you a fucking green candle. Now, how you can control green candles, these little small candles, the size of them. This market maker now could, let's say he has all these orders he has to fill. He'll sit here and he'll look at the NBBO. He'll look at the NBBO. And the way he'll fill it is he can send a certain amount in a group. He'll send a whole bunch of negatives. He'll send a small amount of positives. So let's say he wants to drop it, okay? He'll send a small amount of positives up to the exchange to fill it. Or he'll fill it himself. But this is one of the ways that they can manipulate the volume candles. So, and then he's got his neutral here, and you'll do, this is where you sit there, and if you do, let's say he does it the other way. Let's say he has because it's going to be dependent on what he has in position-wise. So let's say he has to fill a whole bunch of orders still, and they're going to be positive flow. What he's going to do is he's going to mark a lot. He's going to cut this in half, okay? So let's say the order is for like 1,000 positive flow, or it should be. He'll cut that into 500. He'll mark these to a fourth decimal, okay? So then this will all become neutral. Then he'll finally fill out the 500 here of the negative to cancel it out to where the candle won't move. Like I said, the abilities that these algos do, the shit that these algos do is ridiculous, dude. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. It's beyond comprehensible when this is going by nanoseconds. Like I said, people that, oh, he cracked the algo. Yeah, I know. Everyone that I heard crack the algo lives in an apartment. Lives with their dad. Yeah, you've cracked the fucking algo. If you crack the algo, you would be the richest person in the world. You would never tell a soul, because then they would change it. You're talking about an algo that was like $15 billion that is set to react and off all these different things that they update constantly. You didn't crack shit. You can learn some TA, you can learn indicators, you can learn chart patterns, you can there's stuff you can do. Definitely ways to make money. There's definitely ways to make money in the stock market. But ain't nobody cracked the algo. If you ever hear a YouTuber say I cracked the algo, shut him off. I'm selling you something that cracked the algorithm. Yeah, I know. And then I'm going to tweet 2 things every day, and then the one that's wrong I'm going to delete. Yeah, I know. Like I said, they ain't cracking shit. But what is nice now is, so on our, again, what's more going for us? We got fundamentals changing. We now have the rest of the world starting to go, all right, we need to stop this. Everybody's country is getting to the point where their currencies are so destroyed. Case in point, their bonds are so destroyed. Look at the yield percentage. Jesus. For Japan. And this is what happens when they try to curve it. That's what I'm saying. The debt that's going to keep accumulating when people stop losing faith that we can control it, which is already happening by looking at the 30, looking at the 10-year. People ate Trump's shit up right away. They thought he was going to put in the tariffs. They thought he was going to put in these massive amount of tariffs to get the deficit because the numbers made sense. And then he fucking changed them. Then he made deals. Then he did this. And now what they're looking at is a bigger deficit in the United States. Then what they're looking at is right here. I've told you guys this for 2.5 years now. In 2024, there was $7.6 trillion due in Treasury notes, and they had to renew them. And the second that they renewed them, it's going to go from the 2% rate to the 4.6, and it's going to add $200 billion. It was like, no, I'm sorry, it was like, it's some insane amount. It was like $400 billion. To what was already the problem added on. It's like and more interest just from what was raised on the couple percentage, because you're talking 36 or 34 trillion dollars. This year. And here's what people, I mean, you guys, this is why I say no matter what, eventually the musical game of chairs has to stop. There's only so much money in the world. They have to eventually they're going to need another excuse to print. But they understand the entire world's woken up to inflation. We know inflation is nothing more than government printing and devaluing their fucking dollar to bail out criminal banks. That's all it's been. The banks have been criminals. They've been fucking stealing your money. JP Morgan Chase created a sex island. They bought the sex island. They had the biggest role. They're the real owners of the JP Morgan of Epstein's fucking island. Epstein was their face. Epstein was the one who banked there. Epstein was the one who brought all the fucking executives over. Epstein was the one that they did all the fucking mortgage loans with for the island, for the airport, for the airplanes. But nobody talks about, JP Morgan Chase processed every single payment that was sold for any type of sexual, whatever you want to call it, transaction. It went through JP Morgan Chase. The money did. That's where it came from. JP Morgan Chase handled the money. JP Morgan Chase gave him the loans for all of the properties. JP Morgan Chase visited it. JP Morgan Chase paid a $290 million settlement because they were his accomplice. $290 million when every one of them should be in fucking prison for life or sentenced to death penalty in a state. You are raping children, dude. You had a sex island. What are we doing here? Who's on his black book? All the fucking bankers, politicians can't figure it out. Then you got fucking people like Ian Carroll. Oh my God. It's the Jews that did it. No, actually it's not. It's JP Morgan Chase. They paid a $290 million fine because of it. But here's the thing. Global debt. Do you guys remember last month I showed you the global debt number? The global debt number was at $304 trillion last month. You know what it's at now? In 1 month, it jumped to $324 trillion. In 1 month, governments borrowed $24 trillion worth. They've added $24 trillion of debt in 1 month. Where the fuck did it go? This is literally a month later. Where the fuck did $24 trillion go? Because I can tell you not anybody's citizens' way of life was improved by their government borrowing that $24 trillion. Who the fuck did they borrow it from? Who lent out $24 trillion? Where does this happen? How does this happen? What? Okay. And then, the reason this happens, watch this. Remember that number 24 trillion? Where is it? Here you go. So, my buddy McSqueezy, he always posts these. He always looks up the derivatives. He always posts up the financial report. He always posts. This is from the Global Bank Derivatives Report. This is from them themselves. This is their reported numbers. So, like I said, I love this dude. He's insanely smart. I've went over netting many times on this channel. Like I said, it's just they're netting, they're going through it. Like I said, it's like they're pooling all these things together in one asset, and they're all supposed to put it into this. It's a netting all into one basket type thing. So right now, the derivative market national value over the counter was $730 trillion. That's the notional value, so don't go like, holy fuck. That's still fucking insane, but it's the notional value. So, what that means, for these guys, the expense for these guys to hold all of these derivatives, the expense was $17.1 trillion. Bigums, where did the $24 trillion go? Right here. $24 trillion went into more borrowing through more derivative contracts to give to more people that are already in debt that can't afford their old derivatives contracts. And the interest payments and all that other stuff. So everybody's sitting here like, holy crap, they can do this forever. It costs them. Now it's up to, that's just of June. Now it's up to $17.1 trillion. As you can see now, as I just showed you, it went up from $17.1 trillion in June up to $24 trillion in a month in interest, in expenses, in opening up new contracts to remake old ones. Good grief. To say the least. It's costing them $17 trillion to keep the fucking wheel rolling. Where is it coming from? Eventually, this is why these guys need COVID coming back. This is why they need more excuses to print money, because this is the problem that these fucking pieces of shit do until we take over, until we have a revolution, until everyone fucking wakes up, or until they just can't hide it anymore and it just topples into them, which is what we're waiting for. Because when it topples into them, the way that AMC, the way that GameStop, the way that all of these fucking stocks that have been paid through these derivatives to hold stuff down will have to be covered is unbelievable. And when that movie that everybody loves in The Big Short, when he says don't dance, he says don't dance when you win, because you'll take it from pensions, from teachers, retirement funds. No, dance, because you're going to take it from fucking rich piles of fucking shit bankers, because that's going to be the only thing they can do, because it's going to get so expensive. Watch, if you're going to listen to the next 15 minutes of this entire video is the most important part. It's going to get so expensive. It's going to get so crazy. That thing I talked about in the beginning of this video with how I'm surprised never happened, that's when it starts to happen. People start to lose it all, starts to go crazy, they can't afford, that's why. And if you start to look, people start to figure out where it's coming from and what's happening. And this is already happening now. Buy now, pay later. What did I tell you guys? I'm going to wait, I said like 4 months ago, I'm going to wait a couple months, and I'm going to start to short buy now, pay laters. But I'm going to start to short the buy now, pay later smaller companies. Guess what? Buy now, pay never. Some Klarna users struggle to repay loans as U.S. consumers' debts rise. Households owe now $18.2 trillion. Households owe $18.2 trillion in various forms of debt. Many are trying to cut back while leaning on installment payments, and some just don't even pay them. Crazy. Now, the Swedish company net losses Klarna reported Monday, weeks after its pause to plan to go public over tariff concerns and all of these other things. Klarna reported that its losses swelled 17% in the first quarter, hitting $136 million. They gave out $136 million in loans, and people said, fuck off, I'm not paying them. They took $136 million. Now listen to this, it gets even better. $136 million. 41% of users either paid late, damn it. 41% of users paid late, 34% stopped making payments. This is exactly what I was saying. I was telling you guys this forever. This is what's going to happen. People are going to max their credit cards. Guess what? Where'd it go? Here you go. People have maxed their credit cards. Now listen to this, because you need to listen to this. When I say people are maxing their credit cards, as you can see, it's not just poors. Yeah, we're maxing our credit cards out at a higher rate. But look who else is maxing out their credit cards. Oh, the rich. You guys, listen to me. Look at this chart. When was the last time the richest credit cards started to skyrocket? Look at the graph. I don't ever care about our debt. If you guys look at the pattern, look at this debt, you see a repeating pattern. Right here, I cut the chart off. Right here, it literally looks like this. From this point on, from right here, this little dip is that dip right here on the left. It looks identical. The last time the rich needed to rely on credit cards, because what you guys got to remember, rich don't spend money and they don't have money. They have a lot of fucking stock options. And they need banks to give them loans, and they need to use their stock options as collateral. That's how they spend money. And if they don't have the stock options to sell and get loans out of, guess what? They use their black cards. Well, here you see, rich, middle, poors are all rising. This happened last time in 2008. And then you had your crash. This is why I've screamed to the top of my lungs. Gold. If you look at the market, it's reacting the same way as it did before. Up, 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 up. Here we go. Like I said, guys, use a lot of this information. There's a lot of ways you can start playing stuff that's up and coming. Some guy today, that, these people in Discord, you guys that got AMC, people that were up, that guy was up 600%. Let's fucking go, dude. I love it when retail, that's why I said, I'm done talking shit about retail people unless they're grifting to the point where they're just trying to sell some bullshit. Then I'll call them a fucking loser. But in the end of the day, dude, we're all just here to make money along the way. You guys are all adults. You should be able to tell who the fuck is trying to help you and help our situation and show you things. Are they just having you watch a fucking chart all day? Or are they teaching you how to fucking read the chart? Do you need to buy their fucking $50 Discord? Do you need their... you see people on here charging $300 for Discord. They have 40, 50, 60 members. And people wonder how they're throwing down. How are they making all this money? Because you guys are giving them like $15,000, $20,000 a month to play with. If I had $15,000, $20,000 a month to throw into options, guess how much fucking money I'd be making? I guess how many... a lot of these people, they show it every time. Look, I have 125. They go crazy because a stock goes up. Hey, guys, it went up $1.96. Told ya. $2. Told you guys. But yeah, for them, they have 120 fucking contracts. But for you guys, you have one or two, so you made 80 to 100, $140. And unless you keep that's the problem with the grift. Unless you keep taking those 140, $180, eventually you're going to keep burning it, and then you're going to say, this guy's an idiot, and that's exactly what happens to most retail. And then they find the next guy that's a fucking clown. No, I'm not talking lottery stocks, dude. That guy, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and bash everyone, but no, I'm not talking about lottery stocks. The guy knows, if he's listening or his followers are listening, they know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. But either way. But like I said, at this point, you're getting to the point. The government is like, well, where? Here's my question, and this is what I'm going to show you next, because this is where the downfall starts. Listen to me. If I can't make a buy now, pay later payment, here's my problem. This is what scares me. This is what I tried to tell anyone who's listened to me for the last 4 or 5 years. Don't have a credit card. I learned it at a young ass fucking age, dude. I never had a credit card until I was like 30. The day I turned 30, I got one. If you don't have it, you don't need it, man. And I get that there's situations where it's like, yeah, maybe you don't have someone to borrow, you need it, but it's like, dude, the worst thing to do is get in the credit card debt spiral because suddenly you'll have 500, 600, 1,000, 2,000, and at that average rate now, you guys, the average credit card interest rate's 19%. If you have a $2,000, $3,000 balance, $1,500 balance, I showed you guys the average balance is $10,000. That's unfucking real. $10,000 balance, and what's your card at? Hopefully at 5%. Like I said, I mean, even at this $500, $600, $700, $800, your 130 is just going into your interest. You're never gonna get down. Like I said, that's the one thing I was like, guys, just never get into credit card debt. It is. My wife's sister she got out of it, but man, for a while there, like, dude, it took her years because it's like, dude, you keep making those payments, but it's like it only lowers it 30, 40, $50, and suddenly it's like, dude, you're making an extra $200, $300 fucking payment on interest. Like I said, it's just credit card debt is not the place to go, man. Like, if you have to go get a second job, like, that's the thing. Like, anyone that talks shit to somebody that has two jobs, you're fucking ridiculous. Go get a better one. Okay, let's take that theory. Go get a better one. Here you go. Go get a better one. Jobs are no longer much more plentiful than available workers. Guess what? There are now more available workers than there are jobs. Just go get a better job. How? They monopolized them all, and all the good jobs are firing everybody because the fucking CEOs need to make record profits. Like I said, luckily I got lucky. My cousin owns our company, and we're doing great. But we're also in construction, and that can change at any second. We can sit here and remodel all these houses all we want, but if we're not getting buyers, but like I said, man, this is what I was trying to show you. It's to that point you have now more people looking for work than there are jobs available. What are they going to do? They're going to start asking questions. What can I do? There's no fucking jobs available. I can't live off Taco Bell. I can't go live off fucking working at this. I can't go work over at this. It's like, dude, it's not possible to live off that because, and this is the problem, they convinced everybody to not, oh man, that Taco Bell worker, he can't make a fucking living. Why would we lower minimum wage? Taco Bell will have to fire people. No, they won't. Taco Bell makes fucking billions of dollars. I think they'll be just okay if they give their fucking guys another $2 or $3. But nope, they convinced you not to take raises, and then the CEO's bonuses instead went up another 1,000, 5,000% because they convinced us to, hey, don't fucking raise the minimum wage. Guess what? When you raise the floor, you raise the ceiling for everybody. If you raise the wage for that Taco Bell worker, guess what? That doctor can say, hey, that person, that mechanic, all these people, hey, look, they're making almost as much as me. So, guys, eating Taco Bell now, dude, I wish I had a Taco Bell near me, man. We moved out to Empire, and it's like Farmington, man. I don't got any good food. Luckily, I went to Le Cordon Bleu, so I'm a pretty damn good cook. But there ain't nothing over here, dude. I wish I had a Taco Bell. I'm very envious of you. But when people have no jobs, when people have maxed out credit cards, when people went to their last resort like you're seeing here on the buy now pay later, they're maxing those out and they're not paying those back. What's left? Other than just, you gotta ask questions. Why am I fucking broke? Why is this? Why is this box of cereal $25 fucking dollars? I mean, it's not, obviously, I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. Eventually, people will start to ask questions. Now, watch this. This is why I don't like Trump right now. I'm going to lower the taxes, and I'm going to lower this, and then, we're going to get the terrorists to pay for it. We're going to get other countries to pay for it. We're going to bring back manufacturing, and we're going to do all this stuff. And then you do this shit. hold on. So he goes out. He raises $600 million in political donations. He wants to raise over $1 billion in dark money by his midterm. Now, first of all, I don't fucking like it ever when a politician has raised $1 billion. This is fucking ridiculous. Like when I showed you guys when Biden won that Democrats had $1 billion in dark money donations, this is just for him. I want you guys to understand. This isn't like the Republican side has gotten this. He has. Now here's my question. Why does he need more political donations at midterms? Ask yourself that question. Why would he need to raise campaign funds? Campaign funds when he's president? Chat, I want you to really think about this. Why is a president who's on his second term raising a ton of money for a political campaign? Food for thought. My stream's fucked? Fix your stream, bro. It sucks if we put it sideways. What do you mean? David, I don't understand what you're talking about, my friend. Like, is my quality in the stream bad, you're saying? Like, am I lagging? What you mean? Yeah, that's when you start during the midterms for your second fucking term. Not when you're already... I'm politically ignorant because president who's already done fucking... This is a second term, needs political campaign money? Okay. Does he also need a $400 million plane? Oh, man. We found the Trumper in the chat. Sorry, buddy. Red or blue don't give a fuck about you. Now what they're going to have to do, because he's not going to go ahead and get all that money from these tariffs, the Department of Education crackdown on student loan repayments is now happening, and it's going to take billions of dollars out of customers' pockets. Monthly collections on defaulted loans may reduce disposable personal income by $3.1 to $8.5 billion. So now they're coming after everybody's student loans that aren't paying them, which is supposed to take another $8.5 billion to 3.5 or 3.1 out of retail hands who already cannot take or make their credit card payments, who already can't make their buy now, pay later payments, and hopefully they have a job because guess what? There's less jobs available than people looking now. Meanwhile, I just saw how many more... Remember, we're at an all-time high in bankruptcies for companies, and it's just starting. We're going to fucking skyrocket past it, so these jobs are just going to keep going down, 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 down. First term is null and void. You're only seeing 80% of the screen? Oh, shit, dude. That's because I have it. Hold on. See, I got that new monitor. I didn't realize it. Is that better? Hold on. Why is this not filling it? Hold on. I mean, I'm not even zoomed out at all. It's just, I went from a widescreen monitor to this freaking... I probably have a setting. Let me find it. There's got to be a property somewhere on this display here. You would think it would just fit to... Like, why wouldn't it just fit the screen? Stupid. Now it's worse? Man, dude. Here we go. Hold on. Here. Is this better? You tell me when it's better. This is ridiculous. There. Is that better? Yeah, but the display resolution is the same resolution as my monitor. That's why I don't understand. This should be completely fine. Unless the scene has a different resolution, but it doesn't. It doesn't even have its own. It's always the res, man. It's better. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I didn't know. I'll fix it by next stream. I'll look at all this crap. It's gotta be somewhere stupid. Probably in my main settings. Oh, output. Here we go. Of course, they have to have 16,000. Yeah, here we go. This is why aspect ratio. Hold on. Of course, it's because my thing's active that I can't change. I'll have it fixed for next time, guys. It's on. I didn't realize it was under the main one, not the display one. Sorry, my bad. I'll fix it next time. It's fucked. Yeah, you know. It was an OBS setting. I'll fix it for next time. I can't change it currently while I'm live. But now they're going to go after all of those people's student loans. And if you look here, listen to this. So as they're now coming after all of these student loans for a total of 3.1 to 8.5 billion, student loan delinquencies spike. Borrowers are now risking potential spillovers with other late payments. So, in other words, they're coming after you. They're going to take away 8.5 billion. People are now defaulting on those student loans that they're coming after. Some people now are going to have to default on other things that they're already defaulting on just to pay their student loans now. This economy is fucked. You're literally going to have the rich and you're going to have the poor. And that's it. There will be no in between, and that's how they want it. Like, it's crazy. Until eventually, like I said, April home sales dropped. This is the lowest pace for the month since 2009. And here is a big difference between the housing market and this time in 2008. If you guys look at 2008, who was the number one buyer of houses to fix everything, to bail everybody out? It was the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve bought $2.7 trillion in mortgage-backed securities. They bought $2.7 trillion in mortgage-backed securities that were defaulting from the banks so the banks didn't go under. And then at the same time, they asked for us to bail the banks out. So what happened is the banks went ahead and the Federal Reserve went ahead and they bought all that from mortgage-backed securities, all those toxic assets. They're on their balance sheet. They're now off the bank's balance sheet. Then the banks went ahead and bitched and whined, and then they also got paid their bailouts. So, again, the Federal Reserve is just like any other private company. They have shareholders, which is your central banks and all these other banks, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to print money, and they're going to bail out those banks, and they're going to come out with the bank lending program and all these other things because that's who their shareholders are. They don't work for the civilians. They don't give a shit about you. If the bankers say we need to print, that's what they'll do. But like I said, at this point, guys, even during depressions, as you've seen throughout history, movies will continuously thrive because when people have a shitty reality, they need an escape. And the way they'll get an escape is through theaters, through movies. So, again, I'm feeling great about... Oh, wait, I didn't even get to this shit. So, this is actually pretty sweet. Europe plans its first system-wide stress test for hedge funds. So usually they do system-wide stress tests just for banks to make sure that the banks have enough capital. For the first time now, Europe actually is going to do stress tests on hedge funds. They're going to send the government in and make sure that they have enough collateral to cover all their bets. And if they don't have enough collateral to cover all their bets, guess what? They're going to get in trouble. Hey, United States, why don't we do this? Crazy. Crazy thought. So that's going to happen for the first time this year. They're going to have a stress test. Or I'm sorry, it's going to implement in 2026, so next year. Early 2026. So the Bank of England is going to do a stress test for all hedge funds. Make sure that they got fully collateralized for all of their wagers. If they don't, boom, they're going to get a... I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. I'll have to keep reading more into it. But I thought this was actually a huge step forward as long as the regulators do something to them. But how many times do we see regulators do nothing? And here's the point with that. So right now... Where'd it go? Right now, they're trying to get rid of the cat system again. And they put a vote up. What the fuck? They put a vote up in February to take away customer ID and trader ID because they're fucking criminals. Dude. Here you go. So they're trying to take away the trader ID. Well, the trader ID tells them who the hell's trading it. If you take away the trader ID, what's the purpose of the cat system? I can see all these trades happening, but I can't see who the fuck's doing it. So in February, they passed a thing, and now they're going to put it back up for vote to take away trader ID. No, now you have senators like, dude, if you guys take away the trader ID, we're fucked. You need to leave it alone. So right now there's a battle going on the cat system, and they're trying to basically destroy the cat system. And senators are actually like, no, we actually need this ID. We need to track something, which is amazing, and I hope that they don't do that. But the problem is I told you guys the cat system was going to catch everything, and it has. The cat system has caught everything, and I told you it would. And I've shown you on the cat system reports the billions of shares that they have done, that it's found. Problem is when they catch them, here. So you can look at the reports for the errors on the cat system errors during each time period. And, here's one of the examples. The other month I showed you there was 47 billion in a week. But, I mean, look at this alone. Look how many errors right there. Just a quick 11 billion errors in 2 days caught by the cat system of them manipulating it. So, it's not that the cat system doesn't work. It's when it does, this is what happens. Listen to this. Goldman Sachs will pay 1.5 million civil fine to settle inaccurate reporting for, listen to this. So listen to this. For billions of stock trades, not shares, trades. How many shares are attached to these billions of trades? Think about that, you guys. This is orders. How many? You can have an order from 1 million shares. It was like 3.3 billion mismarked and incorrect shares. Orders. 3.3 billion worth of orders is how many shares? The cat system caught it all. Oh, I'm sorry. 36 billion trades. Remember, it was 3 something. It's 36 billion trades. Listen to this. Inaccurate porting of 36.6 billion trades. How many shares come with 36.6 billion trades? And they got a $1.5 million fine. What are we doing? What are we doing here? When movies are broke, movies are not on their list. Have you not seen how movie theaters performed during the Great Depression? When people are broke, movies are what's on their mind. They need an escape from reality. And if you're an A-list member, you can go get that escape from reality pretty fucking cheap. 3-4 times a week you can go see a movie. You're not paying ticket prices. See, that's the difference. They go out and they find, when you're broke, you find deals. Guess what AMC just did? They lowered ticket prices on Wednesday. Oh, they gave you an extra movie per week for A-list. If you're A-listed, it's an insanely cheap form of entertainment that you're going to get for hours that you would not get for that cost anywhere else. History disputes you, my friend. I mean, that's the thing, like this dude said, dude. Everybody listen to Trey. Everybody listen to Matt Coors. Don't say no, it'll kill our squeeze. No, you morons not saying yes at $29. killed our squeeze. Us raising that additional 1.4 billion paused it. I'm not going to say killed it, but it like delayed it. Not killed it. It delayed it to where we're at now. The reason you listen, it's logic, guys. Why do you short a company? Because you think it's going to go bankrupt. If they're raising capital, guess what? They're not going bankrupt. If they're putting it into the company, guess what? Fundamentals will remake up for the shares added, and then they'll have to cover. I said everybody just you listen to Matt Coors, who right after fucking went and joined Meet Kevin, is the biggest shill I've ever seen. Who pushed a scam of FTX? If there's not a big, I'm sorry, but he's like I said, he's the only exception. There's not a bigger fucking loser on the internet than Matt Coors. There's not a bigger fucking loser on the internet than Matt Coors. You couldn't find a bigger piece of trash. You couldn't. Sorry, I fucking can't stand that kid. Like I said, I mean, I have never seen a grift on that fucking level. Buy my fanny packs. Buy your own fanny pack and stick it up your ass, douche. The only other person that was a bigger grifter than him was Al from Boston. Do you guys remember Al from Boston was selling memberships? And it was $99 if you wanted to have a personal one-on-one with Al from Boston for 20 minutes. You could buy his time for $100. Yeah, you're not grifting the community. Oh, man. Yeah, Al from Boston was close, dude, but he holds the crown. He'll wear the crown till the day he dies, dude. Guy's the biggest clown. But I'm done talking about Matt Coors. I'm done talking about everything else. Does anyone have any questions? When you're worried about rent, you're not paying insane movie prices. Well, most of those people are going to end up, when it gets too bad, if they don't have a job, they'll end up moving in with their family, you have to think. They'll probably not be paying rent, which opens up more expenses. And then they'll go back into bad habits because they won't be saving. They'll just be fine there. And there's nothing wrong with, like I said, dude, I don't give a shit where anyone lives or how they live until you start talking shit to me about how I live. Guess what? I'm going to say the same thing right back to you. It's like, it's not a crazy concept, dude. If you troll me, I'll troll you back. But in the end of the day, I ain't going to start crap unless you make a video about me. Which every fucking one has, dude, at this point. It's hilarious. Do I think MOASS? I think MOASS is still possible for sure. Because again, you have all these people that I showed you are stuck in these derivatives contracts. They all still owe. All those derivative contracts, just because they got shipped over to another regulator, well, that regulator, again, UBS lost that regulation case, so they're going to have to pay all that money. And if they can't pay that money, they'll go under. And eventually, Europe's going to look over and say, we're not going to keep closing down banks to pull up their toxic shit, and they're going to make them take it back. Now, while they take it back, I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but it's going to get very interesting because, like I said, it's eventually we're just going to be seeing wars through financials. People are just going to financially destroy people's countries. That's all they're going to do. Little guy is doing amazing, man. He's doing amazing. He's 10 months, he's crawling, he can stand up and like lean on furniture. He's like the happiest kid I've ever seen. I have never been so happy in my life. I love that little kid. He's starting to eat some food, eating some cereals now. He's got these little yogurt melts. These like little banana wafer things too. Dude, I love that little kid. I couldn't have asked for a better kid, man. But I'm sure every dad says that. But thank you for asking. But does anyone else have any questions at all? Otherwise, wife will be home. She's got to go back to the Amazon warehouse. So she'll probably get back from Amazon. So she'll probably get back at like 8. I'm going to have to game for a while. Dude, I haven't gamed. Little man's at grandma's today. So definitely got to get that in. So thank you guys for listening. Appreciate all. Like I said, guys, if Adam Aaron, he's going to ask for shares. Listen, Adam Aaron will ask for shares 100% after this quarter. After the stock price recovers, after you have a great thing. Saying no is going to it's going to hurt you. I'm telling you right now. If you say no and you limit his ability to raise capital at that point, it's going to hurt the stock price more than you guys giving him the shares. So if that's what people are going to say is he's going to drop the price, it's not. And again, the difference now, he had to raise capital out of necessity before. Now he can just he can ride the box office in the price recovery and do it when it's intelligent. Do it when the price is where it needs to be. So again, guys, if you have AMC, just be patient, man. 2026 is going to be over $12 billion. I'm honest to God. Like AMC, if they do everything right, they will be profitable hundreds of millions of dollars in 2026 if it does hit that 12 billion mark that they project. So again, guys, thank you for listening. We'll talk soon. Have a great day. Any updates on it before? No, that was a good question. Any updates on Extended Pretend? I do not have any updates on that. I'm just constantly, if you just watch, you'll just see, it's basically every day you're seeing a new building default. Taking 80% hits, taking 80% hits. Eventually, you can only take so many 80% hits and take so many defaults on billions of dollars of projects. So, again, just keep watching. There's a couple. Who is that one guy? I follow. I can't remember his name off the top. Hold on. I'll show you if you're want to look at the Extended Pretend numbers. Where is he? Can't remember his name, but I can remember his picture right away. Where do I see his account? If you follow, man, I can't find his account. There's this guy. He puts up all the account does. All it does is put up foreclosures, building foreclosures, commercial real estate foreclosures. I think it's called a commercial real estate defaults, if I remember. I don't see him anymore. Well, this is a good one right here. Trapwire. This was one of the ones. Look at it. See, here you go. The collateral behind a $47 million commercial-backed real estate loan was reappraised for the first time at an 85% reduction. These are this is if you want to watch the commercial real estate bomb slowly unravel, here's a great one to look. Through the balance of commercial real estate loans and special servicings. Now listen to this. So here you go. Perfect. Here is your update on the commercial real estate bomb. The balance of commercial real estate loans in special servicing mass defaults went up $800 million in April. The overall balance of commercial loans outstanding also rose by $4.2 billion. So in other words, $800 million more went into special servicing, which is default selling, and another $4.2 billion is starting to default. So this bitch is happening. Just give it time. This thing is boiling over. Here you go, another one. An 80,000, 23% reduction. This $350 million loan, or this $589 million loan was sold for, they lost $153 million. So like I said, this is a great, I watch him a lot. There's another one, I think it's called CME, I want to say it's CME Defaults is the other one that I'll look at. This mall defaulted. Like I said, it's just nonstop, dude. The amount of defaults that are happening today are ridiculous. But, alright guys, thank you for listening. I do want to stream one more time before, I think, little man. I do want to show you those other systems. Day is it? It's Tuesday. I'm thinking, because little man should be gone Friday. I might be able to get one in on Friday. Or Thursday. So, I'll talk to you guys really soon. Have a good day. Thank you for listening.